When's the best age to pierce your daughter's ears? That's up to you, but I'll tell you what I did. My daughter was around 2 months old when people started asking if I was going to pierce her ears, when I was going to pierce her ears, and I didn't know. I hadn't even contemplated it yet. So I started Googling and I started asking people, and I found that different ages pose different difficulties. For example, any baby under 5 or 6 months of age can't localize pain. So if, say, their newly pierced ears are bothering them, they can't tug at it, which is a good thing, because once they start tugging at it, they can introduce germs to the area, it can lead to infection, which is not good for anybody. Okay, so you want to wait until you can communicate with your child, maybe when they're a toddler, and you can tell them that they'll get a boo-boo if they touch their ears. But as everyone knows, you can't tell a toddler what to do or what not to do. So toddlerhood is out. You have a 5 or 6-year-old who's maybe old enough to look around and see that other girls have it and want it, and so they think they're excited for it, but once that first ear piercing goes in, and I've heard this from somebody, it actually happened, they refuse to get the second ear piercing. That's also not ideal. Okay, so you want to go even older. An older child will likely anticipate the event, maybe excitedly, but also with anxiety. And I wanted to save my daughter that anxiety. In fact, when I walked into the jewelry store with her, I was full of anxiety, and the only thing that calmed me was knowing that she was not. She had no idea what was coming. So what can you expect when you actually go? I'm gonna say this as if your child is a baby, because that's what my experience was. First of all, pick a place that's reputable. Make sure that you know people who've been there and they've had good experiences, that the place is clean, that the people are professionals, and they've been doing it for a while. When I went in, they showed me a few different options, and I just picked something that was pretty basic and would match with anything she was wearing. Then they sat me down and I held her in my lap, and the ear piercer, and that's what I'm gonna call him because I don't know what the professional term is, he swabbed her ear with alcohol and he used a marker to gauge where he would pierce the ear. And my advice to you is that if you don't like where the ear piercer placed the mark, say something, because this is going to be hopefully a forever thing for your child. And it's okay for you to voice your opinion and say, you know what, I actually think it's too close to the face, I actually think it's too low, try to get it centered correctly. I did that, and we went a few times back and forth until we compromised together, because they are professional and they've been doing this for a while, hopefully. So, you know, listen to their opinion, but also have your own opinion. And if he doesn't like it, that's too bad, and you can go someplace else, because you are the customer, it's your daughter's ears, and you'll both have to look at it for a very long time. It was very hard because the minute he did it, she burst out crying, and then we had to flip her and do it again to her. But I had, you know, I picked her up after, and I had a bottle prepared, and I was just soothing her the rest of the time. I also recommend that you bring somebody with you for support, both emotional and so that they can practically help you there. I brought my mom, thank you, Mom. And the baby's up. She was fetchy the rest of that day, but it only lasted that day, and now she has beautifully pierced ears. Thank God she did not get an infection, and that's why it's important to care for the site of the newly pierced ears. And it's not that if they get an infection, it's because you didn't clean it properly, but be sure to clean it properly. So it takes about 6 weeks to heal completely. I think you only need to really clean it for about 2 weeks and be on top of it. So what you want to do is use an alcohol swab once a day or twice a day to clean the area. You can also use soap and water. So what I did was I used alcohol swab once a day, and I used soap and water the second part of the day. So she got one of each for about 2 weeks. You'll also want to rotate the earring in the ear once or twice a day to ensure that the skin doesn't grow around the earring and like keep it there. So you'll see the importance of not having it get infected. So why it would be harder for an older child, like an older baby or a young child, who would touch it and introduce germs to the area, and then you have to deal with an infection, and that's not going to be pretty. I don't know if you can hear my baby poke up. I'm going to try to wrap this up. In my opinion, it's best to do it. I didn't even say when I did it. I said people asked me at 2 months. I ended up doing it at 3 months. Okay, so she was about 3 months old when I did it, young enough that she couldn't localize the pain, she couldn't tug at it, I would be able to clean it pretty effortlessly, and old enough that she wasn't a teeny tiny baby. Like I was never one of those people who liked having a teeny tiny baby with pierced ears. I didn't need it. That's not why I did it then. I did it then because I really thought it was best for her. In fact, when I was walking into the place with her, I was looking at her and thinking how pure and innocent she looked, and here I was gonna already, you know, change her appearance because of society. But ultimately, I think she'll be happy with it. I'm happy with it. I'm curious what you've done if you've had this experience. Have you pierced your daughter's ears yet? Do you plan on doing it? When do you plan on doing it? Let me know in the comments. If you like the video, please thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Ciao. I'm coming! When's the best age to pierce your daughter's ears? That's up to you. I was looking at myself, so. My daughter was around 2 months old. It's like, this is the final one. They pose different hardships. No, that sounds really bad. So what can you...